When you go to a decentralized exchange and you want to provide liquidity to earn a yield, you have to make a decision. And the most important decision is to whether you want to provide your liquidity as concentrated liquidity or as a standard liquidity. In this example, we see the Radium decentralized exchange on the Solana blockchain, and we want to look at the pair of Sol and USDC. And we see in the standard liquidity, we have almost 34% annual yield, while in the concentrated liquidity, we have for the pair of Sol USDC a yield of more than 66%. So does it mean it's better to provide liquidity for the concentrated pools? No, not necessarily. And in this video, I want to explain why. So let's look at a very specific example. In this example, you provide $1,000 of liquidity into both pools, one into standard liquidity pool, the other in the concentrated liquidity pool. That would be split exactly 50-50, so $500 worth of Sol and 500 USDC into the pool. You have to make a decision regarding the fee tier or the fee size that you will have to select. There might be different pools with different fee sizes. There will be probably a recommendation what most people use. You will have certain data, but this is something we look at in another video. So we just keep it on the side here, but just for you to know, this is one general thing to decide on. Then on the concentrated liquidity pool, you also have to decide on the provision range. So in what range you want to provide the liquidity for. Since it's concentrated, it means it's not general for the whole range of the swapping between the two tokens, but you have to decide for a specific range. So let's assume today one Sol is 250 USDC, and you can then think about a range, and let's just randomly pick a range of 200 to 300 USDC per Sol. And so you have a range that is equal into both directions of 50 USDC into both directions. And now let's assume for both scenarios that the Sol price goes up. In the standard liquidity pool means that the Sol in the pool also goes up, since 50% in the pool is consisting of Sol, but you will not get the full value appreciation because there's a constant automatic rebalancing, so that the balance remains 50-50 between Sol and USDC. So you will therefore only have a partial value appreciation, a partial gain in the pool, but on the other hand, you will also earn fees. These are the two aspects of an appreciation that you will have in the standard liquidity pool. This, of course, also applies if Sol goes down, then there's only a partial loss, while there's still a fee to be earned. So this makes the thing very attractive, especially in volatile markets where a lot of trading volume is happening, and you want to have like a hedged situation, and you want to hedge the downside of the Sol of the maybe not stable crypto asset that you have in this pool. And so this makes a lot of sense to pair it with a stable asset that is not affected by volatility at all, and that is very popular to be swapped into from a more volatile crypto. And the bigger the crypto, like Sol is like the native coin of the Solana chain, of course, it's very popular to hold and also to swap. If this video has given you any value, please hit the like button now quickly, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on the next videos. Also, if you need any personal assistance in setting up your crypto cash flow portfolio according to your personal goals and risk tolerance, you can book a coaching call with me directly. Check the description of this video for further info. So let's now look at the scenario of SOL going up in the concentrated liquidity pool. This would mean that the SOL in your pool gets sold into USDC, and we will have a new ratio here. So unlike with the standard liquidity pool, there will be a different ratio. So if SOL goes up, then it could look like there's 40% of SOL in your pool left and 60% is in USDC. And the higher SOL goes, the lower the part of SOL in the pool gets. So at 300 USDC, since this is the top of your range, you would be 100% in USDC and 0% in SOL. And if it leaves the range, it goes beyond 300 USDC, then of course you would earn no more fees because you have no more SOL that traders could use. On the other hand, if the price of SOL drops, then there will be more SOL than USDC in your pool. And if it reaches 200 USDC per SOL, which is the bottom of your range that we assumed, you will be 100% in SOL. So you have to think about a range, and especially the downside of the range, since this is like the more risky part, that you have to consider at what price of SOL you are comfortably holding 100% of SOL. This is just something you have to keep in mind. Then at this point, when the range is left, you can think about a readjustment of the pool. So you might want to swap or exit the pool and then swap 50% of your SOL or USDC, whatever you have 100%, back into the other asset and then redeposit into the pool with a new range that is also adjusted to the new price. So for instance, we are at 200 USDC per SOL. You exit the pool, for instance, you swap your 50% of the SOL into USDC, and then you set the range 150 USDC to 250. This is just an example. There are more fees to be earned in the concentrated liquidity than in the standard liquidity because the pool sizes are relatively smaller usually, and there is more trading volume going through concentrated liquidity because concentrated liquidity is much more capital efficient, and it's just more routed through also by decentralized exchanges, and it has a higher priority. Therefore, the fees you have to keep in mind are dynamic in the concentrated liquidity. So if we look at the 66%, for instance, here in the concentrated pool, now it's 64, as you can see. It changes all the time and might also go lower. But it depends on the total pool size. So how much is in total in the pool? What is the trading volume that is going through the pool? Of course, the more trading volume compared to the pool size, the more fees are distributed and earned for the entire pool. Then what's the fee size that you picked? And then, of course, it's the ranges of other liquidity providers. What ranges do they offer? The more narrow the range is, the more parts of the fees will be provided and distributed to these providers. If you pick a very broad range, then you will earn much less fees, of course, than if you would pick a more narrow range. There are excellent tools to estimate the APR and to make decisions what range would yield into what APR currently or also in the past. Of course, we can deduct also from the past, and there's a lot of data to analyze for that. Regarding the fees in the standard pool, there's also one thing to mention. The fees are basically calculated as your percentage of liquidity in the entire pool will get a proportionate part of the fees. So if you would provide 1% of the liquidity of the entire pool, you would also get 1% of the entire fees that are being distributed, and these fees are auto-compounded into the pool. There's no manual claiming needed or even possible. It is just auto-compounded into your position until you reduce the position at your own discretion. So you can do that anytime. It's fully liquid for you. You can exit all your liquidity positions at any time. So what are now the pros and cons of these both kinds of pools? In the standard liquidity, you will have more value gain. So there's if the token, or if one of the tokens, or maybe both tokens, depending what crypto assets you provide, goes up in value, there will be more value gain and appreciation in the pool compared to the concentrated liquidity, where your percentage of the token that might go up is being sold into the other token directly and not readjusted to 50-50. So of course there will be more value gain. On the other hand, there are more fees to be earned in the concentrated liquidity. As I said, it's prioritized by the DEXs, and there's much more volume going through concentrated liquidity. So it's more advanced. But if you want to focus on the fees and also have an actual cash flow from the fees, so the fees can be claimed, they can be manually compounded back into the pool, or they can be paid out or used otherwise. Whatever you want, you will have a real cash flow from fees. The other important pro for the standard liquidity provision is that it's completely passive. It's hands off. You just have to deposit one time, and then you basically can keep it or leave it by itself, or keep it running, and just come back when you want to withdraw something or everything. And on the other hand, in the concentrated liquidity, you have to actively monitor the your pools. You have to look at it. You have to check the ranges. You have to check the prices of the crypto assets that you have provided. If you're still in range, because you might have to readjust if the price leaves the range. There's also some, for instance, telecom price alert bots, where you get some messages if a certain price of a crypto asset is reached. I will teach you about that in another video. Okay, I hope this helped you to make up your mind. And in my next videos, I will teach you much more about how to earn a cash flow from crypto. See you next time.